Hi, I'm Sandy Sandler, the creator of the Bowdabra Bow Maker. And with me tonight is Nick Creticos of Nick Seasonal Decor. So everybody give Nick a big welcome.
Hi,
Nick's gonna
everyone.
Nick's gonna make some awesome bows, and then he's gonna even show you how to make a wreath. So Nick's gonna get started.
Yes, I'm just going to quickly share this to my page. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's nice to be back. Today, we are going to do kind of an eclectic mix. So, we're going to do a couple summer bows. We're going to do a couple 4th of July bows because it's right around the corner. And I think we're going to do a simplified wreath that will work for year round. So, let me just click that share button. Alex is behind the camera tonight, so be sure to say hi to Alex as well.
Welcome, everyone.
There we go. We are live. So, hi, Jerry. We're going to start with our Bowdabra wire. This comes in silver and gold. So, we're going to be using the gold version, and I've been using this, what, Alex, forever?
Forever.
Forever. So, they last a really long time. And as you can see, well, I think it's always upside down. Both sides don't match up. Are we good? There we go. 100-yard spool. So, we're going to start by cutting a length, and we're going to be using our large Bowdabra tonight. So, I like to be a little bit wasteful with my wires, but in the end, we actually don't attach the majority of these bows to wreaths. I end up cutting the wires off and then placing the bows in my wall, which I think makes great wall decor. You don't need a wreath or anything special. You can just make a beautiful bow and flaunt it. So this is about how long we cut it, about a foot or so. We're going to take that, fold it in half, and we're going to use our large Bowdabra. So on the top, as you can see there, there's a slit. We're going to just place that wire right into the middle. And then what I do is I just take my wires and tuck them right underneath. Hi, Lisa. Lavelle is here. Joanne is here. Welcome, you guys. So what kind of bow should we make first? I mean, this lemon ribbon's calling me. So I think I'm going to use our lemon ribbon. So you can find these in all different prints. I also brought the apple one to show you. So if you're trying to match it to whatever your kitchen is themed or any room of your house, they come in all sorts of prints. So we're going to start with the traditional bow with this because I think it's going to look really pretty. We're going to start with cutting a length of tails about yay long, 12, 14 inches on either side. Hey, Edna.
Hi, Shirley. Hi, Lisa. Hey, Velkus.
Yes, welcome everyone. Place that right inside. And do you actually want to see these? Would it be easier for you?
I can see them,
You
so
can
they're
see them
popping up.
this time?
Yep.
Awesome. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the tails towards you. That way you guys get to look at them and then we can start making our bow. So if you ever feel uninspired, the biggest tip I can give you is to, you can use the same ribbons. We're showing you a traditional bow with this ribbon, but you can do so many other techniques and it'll drastically change the look. So we're going to take our ribbon, flip it over, place the front side facing down so that we see the ugly back side. But when we create our loop, and I like to rotate it, but when we create our loop, the
Which
pretty
I
side
can't
is the
do for the
rule.
life of me.
You can't. So once you do that and you bring it back to the middle, as you can see, the pretty side is facing up. But there is an important step, before creating your next loop, because let me just show you actually. So if we were to just place this inside and then do another rotation and create our next loop, you see what happens, you guys? The back side is facing out, and we don't want that. So let's remove that. So before we work in every loop, we're going to take the ribbon, pinch it, and reverse it.
Hi, Shirley. Hi, Marilyn. Hey, Cindy from Florida.
So nice to see you guys. How was everybody's weekend?
Hi, Perry. Thank you for joining.
Marianne is here. Yeah, if you're watching, whether it's live or the replay, do me a favor and scream hi, Nick. So be sure to say hi. Even if you're watching the replay, we do always see comments. So again, take your ribbon, pinch it, reverse it, and place your next loop.
Hi, Kim. She says, I had one of those Bowdabras, and I'm ashamed to say I just couldn't make it work.
Yeah, so just keep trying. That's the best tip I can give you. Until it clicks with you, you're going to feel that way. And then once it clicks, it's going to become so obvious that you're going to be frustrated that you couldn't get it before. So all it takes is just that one time that you make that bow and you're like, oh, that was easy, right? So don't give up. If you give up, you don't know what kind of bow you'll make in the future, which is going to be beautiful.
Also, don't forget to check out our Bowdabra fan gallery. Because we have lots of people in there that will help you. And we also do a live every single Monday. So next week, I think Nick is back again. And then the
Yes.
following week, it's me, Sandy, doing it.
Yeah, so there's so many different ways too. So another thing too is if Sandy's tutorials don't work for you, try mine. If mine don't work, try Sandy's. And there's so many other awesome, talented designers that can teach you how to use the Bowdabra. So if one designer doesn't click with you, I'm sure there's a video out there that'll, help click. All right, so
Rosemary
that
says she's been
is,
watching you for 2 years, Nick.
thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate that. We have 4 loops on one side, 5 on the other. That is going to create the bow that I want. So I'm just going to snip off the excess ribbon.
Hi, Jerona. Hi, Nelda. Hi, Lorraine and Laura. Welcome, everyone.
Melissa's here. Welcome, you guys. So now what we're going to do is leave a little bit of an overhang. Can you see that okay? So we have about 1/2 inch, and that is very important with any bow that you make. It doesn't matter the ribbon, the quality, whether you make it by hand or using the Bowdabra, whatever bow you make, you always want to have that overhang. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the wires from underneath. Since we folded it in half, you're going to have a cut end where the wires are split, and then you're going to have a loop. Doesn't matter which way it's facing. You could do it this way, you could do it that way. It's not going to make a difference. The only thing you got to do is take those 2 cut ends, pull them through the loop, and pull really tight. So now it's somewhat secured, but not secured enough to place on anything. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take those wires, tighten it, flip it over, and tie from behind. That way when you go to secure this to a garland, a teardrop, a wreath base, a grapevine, evergreen, you name it, it's nice and secured, and then you can take these wires and then just secure it right to whatever the base is.
Patricia says you make it look so easy, Nick.
Thank you, Patricia. We have Carlin here.
Hi, Lavelle. She's watching from Florida tonight. Hi, Jennifer. She says, love the Bowdabra. Being a lefty makes it very easy to make a bow.
And I feel like there's not many people out there that are lefties. So if you are a lefty, let me know down below. But instead of dovetailing, you see what I'm doing here now? Is I'm just folding it in, well, not even folding it in half. I'm just cutting it at an angle. So you can dovetail, you can cut at an angle. You just don't want that blunt edge.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Cheryl.
Giselle is here. Yes, I know. I love this lemon ribbon too. So there is what the bow looks like so far. Now is the most important step, which is going to be fluffing. So just pull apart those loops. These are wired ribbons, so they hold their shape perfectly.
Hi, Gloria. Hi, Marla. Beth Ann says she's a lefty. Alexandra's a lefty as well, and Jerry is too.
A lot of lefties.
A lot of lefties.
And I feel like, don't they say that it's some part of the brain or something that, if you're lefty, you're more artistic or something? I don't know. I don't know the rules of the left and right brain, but I could have sworn I heard that, unless somebody told me that. So, but I felt better about myself,
well,
right?
when we were in California, we actually saw a store that was designated for left-handed people. Remember?
Yeah,
and
everything.
Yeah, everything in the store. So scissors, everything you could imagine, which is pretty cool.
So there's how the bow looks. And speaking of that store, they had tons of scissors that said left-handed. And every time we carry these scissors, I hold them like this. This is how I usually cut. Is that the wrong way of holding them? I think that's the right way, right?
That's the right way.
Yeah. But sometimes when I grab, I'll cut like anything,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes you'll see me like this. Years ago, one of our viral videos, I was cutting with scissors, and still to this day, we receive comments, "You're holding the scissors wrong." So, maybe there is a specific pair out there that works, but any scissors will do. You got to get used to things if you're left-handed. So that is that bow number 1. I think that traditional bow is very pretty, but well, we might as well use the apple ribbon, right? So I'm going to show you guys a different technique. So that ribbon, that lemon ribbon, was a 2.5 inch, and now we're going to use a 1.5 inch. So again, cut a length of your wire. All of the products we're using today, from your Bowdabra, your large Bowdabra, your silver and gold wire, everything on this table you can find from nicksseasonaldecor.com. And I'd say between the 2 wires, I'd say the silver is more popular. Wouldn't you say that too, Elle?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, I'm using the gold, but in the end, the goal is not to be able to see it. But I've actually, and maybe we'll do that in a future Bowdabra episode, I actually took some velvet ornaments and I wrapped it with the gold wire. Remember those? Some burgundy ornaments. So if you guys want to see that here on Bowdabra, let me know down below.
And also, don't forget. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, don't forget to say you want to win, because we are going to give away a free roll of Bowdabra scrunchie ribbon.
Yes. So all you have to do is just let us know down below.
Hi, April from South Carolina watching. She says, teach me how to use this thing, please. I always make them in my hands.
That's what I'm here for, April. So we're going to do a different technique. So there's 2 different ways, and I showed the opposite way last week or the week before, I'm not sure, of how to create this funky bow in the Bowdabra. So you can have these pieces pre-cut. As you can see, one tail is longer than the other. It doesn't have to be perfect. Create a loop about 4.5 inches, tails about 6 to 8. We already placed our wire and tucked the ends underneath the Bowdabra. And now all we have to do is just place those pieces inside. So we can do that, before working it in, or we can work the ribbon into the Bowdabra by creating one tail, having that extend on the opposite side, create your loop on the opposite side. The only real reason for us doing it on the opposite side is for fluffing. It makes your life a little bit easier because all of the loops are kind of already on the sides that they need to be.
Lots of people would love to win tonight.
Yes, let us know, and let's see if we can hit 200 live viewers. Hey, Brenda. Christy's here, Gloria. So let me know which of those two ways you guys like better. I think it's easier for teaching just to show you cutting a loop or cutting a length of ribbon, cutting two tails with a loop like that. And it's, it just depends on what works best for you. There's so many different ways to achieve a beautiful bow. So Cindy's from Springfield, so not too far, but still as far as you can get within our state. So that's only like a 2-hour drive. Some states it'll take you all day to drive through.
Hi, Donna. Pierrette says, I like turning my Bowdabra too.
Yeah, who else turns their Bowdabra? I've tried, you guys. I've tried behind the scenes of keeping this, right where it is. And I think after 10, 11 years of designing it, by rotating it, I just don't think I can switch up on that.
Yes, Beth, this is apple ribbon.
Yeah, so it has, what would you say, red delicious apples or something?
Yeah, like sliced or
so, yeah,
halved.
Halved apples. Okay, so we have 3 loops on this side, 3 on the other. Let's do 1 or 2 more. So keep in mind, for those of you that always ask, Nick, how many loops do I need to add? It's really hard for me to tell you that. And the reason for that is that it depends on the design. If you're doing something that you want kind of more lightweight and airy and you don't want to have a super heavy full bow, use less loops. For a funky bow, 3 to 5 loops on each side will achieve that. The more you have doesn't necessarily always mean the better. But for certain seasons and holidays, I do prefer having a ton of loops and tails, like Christmas, right? Christmas and fall. But for spring and summer, less loops. So look at how much shorter that tail is. Well, it looked more short. But it doesn't have to be perfect. And I really want to stress that because I know a lot of you guys stress over it, and it's not worth stressing about. So this bow, I think this would work for year-round, right? If you have I feel like kitchens being decorated in rooster decor and apples are really popular. So spring, summer, and definitely fall.
Sue from Minnesota would love to win tonight.
Hi, Sue.
Pierrette says you were the first one I learned it from.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Dora Lynn says she loves the funky bow.
Yeah, it's Dad's favorite. I see Dad's in the comments right now, you guys. This is Dad's favorite bow. Okay, so now, since we have a lot of loops, we're going to have to dovetail all of these tails. So for every loop you see on this bow, there is going to be 2 tails, since we created a bunch of those awareness ribbons. Love the apple ribbon. I see we're really close to 200. Let's see if we can hit that threshold, you guys. I would appreciate it. And if I've inspired you to make a bow or taught you how to make a bow or am teaching you to make a bow, because if you don't have it mastered yet, no worries, it takes time. Let me know down below.
Cindy says she rotates when she makes a bow as well.
Yeah, I think it's easier, but I see
Not me.
I see Marla says funky bow is also her favorite. Yeah, so Dad goes crazy over them. And Dad, whenever Dad's here, you guys, I stress and I start to sweat because I always miss one tail, and he always catches it. So let's see if we get them all this time around.
The thing about the funky bow is it's really easy to do. So if you're having trouble with the basic bow, a funky bow is a great one to start with.
Yes, it's definitely foolproof because the measurements don't have to be exact. But also, too, for those of you that have leftover rolls of ribbon, I mean, I feel like all crafters are hoarders, right? We all save scraps and we all save a yard or two. A bow style like this, you're able to make, work with just 1 yard of ribbon. I mean, you could switch every single loop you see here with a different ribbon. Of course, if they match and kind of belong together, and still have a beautiful bow. Whereas a traditional bow, it's just not possible.
Dee says
your dad just said
don't make a bow. Oh.
And Steve just said don't miss the tails.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Alex.
That's okay. Dee says you taught me how to make a bow on the Bowdabra. And Suzanne says, I love my Bowdabra because of you.
Oh, thank you both. I appreciate it. Okay, okay,
And Shirley
and
Blair
there
says
we
she
go.
can't rotate the Bowdabra either. And Joanne Trombley asked how many loops, Nick?
Oh, I think we did, well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. 5, 6, 7 loops. So that means there's 4 on one side, 3 on the other. And I think a lot of bow maker or people that make bows out there struggle with that. They think if they have 4 on one side, they have to do 4 on the other. But when you fluff all of the loops out, it's not really as noticeable. It's not noticeable at all, actually. So don't worry, about not having enough ribbon on one side to finish, 4 on each side, because it's not going to make a difference.
And Giselle said, designed by Giselle, said, I need Hoarders Anonymous. And I've told everybody I need to go to ribbon rehab, but I'm not going.
That's right. That's right. So if you have those scraps, Giselle, or anybody watching, put them to use in a technique like that. And look at how pretty. Over 210 of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be here on Bowdabra next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Look at that. How simple, easy, and pretty. And this was, I swear I made 2 other bows using it. One in a wreath. This was probably from a wreath kit. So look what you can do with just 10 yards of ribbon. So it does last a long time, and we did a lot of loops on this one. All right, next bow. I'm thinking we'll do our wreath bow, but I think we'll make 2 bows, and you guys can decide which of the 2 you like better.
April says she's made a lot. You always make her have in her mind to do the tails.
Yes. Thank you,
And
April.
also, I just want everybody to know that we have over almost 800 videos on our YouTube channel, and we have tons of stuff at bowdabra.com/blog.
Laura says, I learn something new every time I watch you, Nick.
Thank you, Laura.
Beth says, so beautiful.
Lisa said you taught me a new bow, the funky bow. I love it. Thank you, Lisa. So I'm not the creator of the funky bow, but it's such an easy technique and such a quick, beautiful bow. So there's no complications involved with that one. This one, the traditional bow, I know it can be a little bit more challenging because, it's got to be, that perfect bow. But even then, I don't sit there and measure out my loops. So take your backside of the ribbon, have it face up. And for this bow, I think we'll just do a handful of loops. Keep it very open and airy.
Mary says the Bowdabra is what she uses.
Awesome, Mary.
Oops, Sandy, I think you have your mic on still. Hi, Nina. Hi, Betty.
Welcome, you guys. So don't forget, both Bowdabra and Nick Seasonal Decor. I don't know if they can hear that echo, but I think we're good now. Both Bowdabra and Nick Seasonal Decor have free crafting groups. So you can join the Bowdabra fan gallery as well as the Nick Seasonal Decor crafting community for more inspiration.
Hi, Jeanette.
Hey, Jeanette. So we have very few loops. We have 3 on one side and 2 on the other, and that will do it. So again, you don't need a whole lot.
Sandy. Sandy, your microphone's on.
Sorry, you guys, for that noise. Okay, so just to show you, if you guys can hear me, how simple and easy it is. Few loops, that's it. I think that's going to be the one I use, but that is going to be the one I use. I think that matches the flowers really pretty. So let's switch gears and start making our wreath. Hey, Gladys. So here is one of our 14-inch grapevines. I don't know if we have many of these left, 14-inch oval, but it's just a unique shape. So if you've never seen an oval grapevine, give it a shot. They're very, very popular. We're going to take our wires from the front to the back, and then we're going to just simply tie that in place. So instead of feeding it through like we traditionally do with a pipe cleaner, I'm just wrapping it around. And from the back, you don't really notice it at all. So tie it 2 or 3 times, keep it in place.
Velka says she learns something new every time she watches you. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Velkis. I appreciate that. Hey, Peggy. We have a lot of Wreath community people in the house tonight. So I'll see all of you guys at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. All right, see how informal that is? Doesn't have to be a super large, I mean, I wouldn't even classify that as a traditional bow. I know that's where we started, but that's not how we finished. So now it's time to make this into something a little bit prettier than just 4 loops on a grapevine. So to do that, so Giselle's favorite grapevines are ovals.
Hey, Maxine.
Hey, Max. So we're going to trim up this mixed bush. And these are one of my favorites because they're made out of foam and they're really inexpensive. And if you were to ask me if I would have used foam 4 years ago, the answer would be absolutely not. But it's so economical, it's so easy to use, and it always looks good. So I've become a huge fan of it.
Hi, Suzanne. She's watching from Vail, North Carolina.
Welcome. I don't think we've ever been there.
I don't think so
I
either.
think we've driven through North Carolina, but we ended up in Myrtle Beaches in South Carolina, I think.
Sue says, you make everything look so easy.
It is easy, Sue. If I can do this, so can you.
Beth
I'm not
Ann
just
says,
saying that. Go ahead.
Beth Ann says, I need to try to make me a summer wreath for my door. You are so inspiring.
Thank you. And you absolutely can, and you should. Because
Nina,
once you get started.
sorry, Nina says you need a taller chair or a shorter table.
I know.
We were both laughing at
We
the same
already
one,
know
Alex.
that. I know. Doesn't he look kind of funny sitting here?
I know. I look very, very petite in this. I understand. And we talked about that the other day before we got back home, but I never ended up ordering like a bar stool.
We were hoping nobody noticed.
Well, thank you. Who brought that up, Suzanne?
No, that was Nina.
That was Nina. Thank you, Nina. I know. See, that's why I tell Alex to get nice and low.
Well, now that she mentions it.
Well, there's nothing we can do besides get another chair.
Melissa says, Nick, I still struggle with buying foam.
With buying foam?
I think foam flowers.
I can understand that. Sometimes they're awesome and sometimes they're not. You know, thankfully, all of the ones we have are awesome, but definitely be picky if you're shopping in store for them because sometimes they can like fall apart. So this one is a good one. So let's snip this down once more so we can distribute it a little bit better.
Oh, used to use standing, April says.
I know.
Nick is a stander.
I am a stander when I film.
Hi, Becky. She's watching from Smoke Rise, Alabama.
Ooh,
I think
Becky,
Alabama.
It's her first time seeing you.
Yes, thank you, Becky, for joining. So I am Nick Predicos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, the one who just pointed out my insecurity for being so short in this chair is my sister Alex behind the camera, and you are watching us on Bowdabra. So we have a few extra leaves. We might as well work those in. We do have one more flower stem that I want to work in, which is some roses. Actually, a few more things we can poke into this wreath. But just to show you how it's looking so far, again, just a few loops. That's how you clean up.
Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Debbie.
And look at how pretty so far. And what do we have invested in this? $10. So wreath making does not have to be expensive. Other designers out there might persuade you and tell you that wreath making is expensive. It doesn't have to be. You can use dollar store products. You can use whatever you have on hand. Don't be intimidated by the cost of things because $10, I think, for something this pretty is very reasonable. Now we just have a little bit of this filler greenery. Might as well work that in. I like the variegation on this.
Nancy asked, do you ever make flower arrangements for gravestones? I believe they are called saddles.
Yes, we made a couple of them not too long ago. We did a grave spike and a grave saddle.
And we also have really good tutorials at Bowdabra.com for making saddles.
Pam says, love that ribbon. Wreath is awesome.
Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Okay, a couple more pieces, you guys.
And if you haven't already, everybody, please don't forget to follow us here and also join the Bowdabra YouTube channel or subscribe to it.
April says she kept looking at you but didn't want to say something till someone else did. It would tire her arms out like that.
Oh, the table?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's more comfortable having it. So if I'm standing, I wanted a table that's really, really tall. But look-wise, it isn't the best look being so... I mean, I'm just a few inches from you guys just seeing my eyebrows, right?
Carolyn says she's watching while frying some Louisiana chicken and enjoying your wreath making. She always cooks while she's watching.
Oh,
That sounds
invite
so
us over. That
good.
sounds delicious.
Mm.
Okay, so there's one flower left I want to add, and it is going to be a rose stem or rose spray.
Rhonda says, my bow making is not so good yet. You make them look so easy.
Well, the key word in that sentence was yet, because it will become great. Just give it a little time, I promise you. I might as well use the rose leaves too, so we'll just pop those off. Place those in first, and then we have these pretty roses.
Good night, Edna. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Edna.
Oh, and
Kathy says,
also,
nice.
oh, I was just going to say, Joette also has a no saddle headstone bouquet that she's done.
Awesome. Place this one here. So one stem. Don't be afraid of just working in one stem too, because it'll still turn out pretty.
Beth Ann says that wreath is absolutely gorgeous.
Very, very simple, you guys. Anybody out there can make this. And look at how pretty.
And the really nice thing too is as you're watching Nick design, you can always rewatch it and press pause if you want to work along with him.
Yes, and also too, there's was it the three dots? You can actually slow down the playback speed as well. So if you want to make me slow motion, you can do that too. Or you can speed me up if I talk too much. So that is how the wreath turned out. How pretty and simple is that?
It's gorgeous, Nick.
So what do we have? $15 invested, I think, for teachers' gifts, for friends and family, or if you just want to start making wreath making. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can just jump right into it with a few ingredients and not have a whole horde of supplies. It doesn't have to be crazy.
And the winner of our scrunchy ribbon is Rosemary Donaldson. Congratulations, Rosemary. Please make sure you PM Bowdabra to let us know what color you want and your mailing address.
Congratulations, Rosemary.
Congratulations.
So I see a question. Do you stick to the odd number of flowers? Curious, thank you. So I'm going to check out your page after this, Bella Wreath Designs, and it's a good rule of thumb to work in odds, but there's no rule that says you have to. If you're just starting out, it does become a little bit easier working in odds, but as you can see in this.
Mhm. Hi. It looks like we lost Nick. I'm really sorry. I'm just going to let me make a bow while we're waiting for Nick to come back. I didn't put any ribbon on the table because I wasn't going to do a bow tonight. But if you bear with me for just a sec, I will make one. Oh, it looks like Nick's just about back. So we'll see if we can get him live in about. Okay, thanks, Nick. We're glad to have you back.
Don't want to make you panic, Sandy. It looks like it kicked us out. Do you guys see Sandy panicking? Oh,
Yep.
that's me half the time I'm live. So it looks like we got kicked out, but with that, we were a minute before we ended the live, but I'm still going to stick around and make one more bow with you guys. So let's do a quick bow. This time we're going to use some scalloped edged ribbon. We're going to cut another length of wire. Sorry, you guys. And to answer the question before, no, you don't only have to use odd numbers of flowers. Plenty of designs out there I've taught showcasing just 2 flowers, and they turn out beautiful. You do not have to work on odds. Place your wire underneath. Here is that pretty ribbon, and I actually used it in a watermelon wreath the other day, and I paired that up with this for the wreath community. Look at how great those two look good together. Actually, I have a plan for this one.
Peggy said he's back.
I'm back. This one, we're going to do that technique that I showed you guys where we're just working in a bunch of tails. but we're going to do the loops right in the middle. So it's going to be a little bit different. So cut some tails. And like I said before, so many different ways to make bows. Don't be caught up into too many different ideas. Start with a few and then add to that. That's how a lot of designers become overwhelmed. There's 3. Let's do a couple more. 4 and 5. So to finish this bow off, we're going to take our ribbon, place it inside the Bowdabra, and we're going to do 4 loops. There's 1. There's 2. That's it. Now you can see Nick. Now you don't. LOL, he is back. Yes, Dad, I am here. And 4.
Gene asked, where did you go? I think he went to La La Never Internet Land.
Yeah, so this is a new app for us, and it looks like we got kicked out, but thankfully we're able to just get right back on. So tie it off, pull it out of your Bowdabra, tighten that ribbon, tighten that wire, flip your bow over, and tie from behind.
And don't forget to let us know where you're watching from, and also let us know if you're watching the replay.
Yes, definitely let us know. So this is going to be different. I don't think I've ever tried this live before, or ever actually. So we're going to dovetail real quick. I think this is going to look pretty. So this is going to keep all of those loops centrally focused, whereas the funky bow, we have them all kind of scattered throughout in and amongst the tails. This one, all of the loops are going to be right at the top.
Bella says, yeah, I've seen everyone do differently with the number of flowers. I was curious as to how you worked. I have made some floral designs, but more mesh. I'm going to try more grapevine designs. Thank you.
Awesome. Give them a shot. So yes, everybody is different, and some designers out there might be a little bit more strict with their rules, but the beauty is if you love it, that's all that matters. So if you are just starting out, working with 3s does make things a little bit easier, but there's no rule that says you have to. So we dovetailed all of them minus 1. Let's dovetail this one too real quick. I don't want Dad to say anything. There we go. Pull apart those tails around the edges. And we have 1 loop in the middle, but the other 2, or the other 3, are going to create kind of like a triangle around that loop in the middle. That's kind of pretty. I like that. And with bow making, the more you fluff, the better it looks. So spend some time fluffing all of your bows to get them looking their best.
Always fluff on a flat surface though, because your bow, if you keep fluffing in the air, you're gonna end up fluffing forever and ever and ever.
There we go. Very pretty. So thank you all so much for joining. I am happy that we got cut off at the final minute, so that halfway through you guys weren't like, what's happening? So thank you so much for having us. We will send
Nick,
all
thank you.
these pictures so you guys can see how pretty they look just against a plain wall. So you don't really need anything fancy to have a beautiful bow. So thank you guys again, and I will see you all next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bye, everyone.
And that'll be 5 p.m. Pacific. 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. And please don't forget to follow us on Facebook and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Bye.